got. It's a solar array, and it's gonna be owned by Green Lantern Development, Green Lantern Capital. And it's going to sit on our land, and the benefit will be this forgiven electric bills. But it's gonna be maintained by them, it's gonna have a fence around it, there's obviously electricity inside. They don't want anybody in there. We will mow the perimeter, or they'll mow the perimeter, we'll make a little arrangement on that, you know, but we'll mow the rest of the unoccupied land. The attraction of this is, is that the board embarked on this whole project to try to find alternative sources of income to raising the rates. Because we're just breaking even, and we have a 17-year-old pump and 17-year-old pipes and 17-year-old water tank, and we've had many increased expenses. So this is a kind of a, I don't know, I see it as a public service to minimize a rate increase, to get alternative income. Yes?
Just one question. In the flyer, they said the town was going to benefit by $50,000.
In the what?
In your flyer that you sent to us.
No.
Yeah, it says the town will benefit by, I don't, you know.
That's a Green Lantern flyer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Put out
Green
to the
Lantern
company,
flyer that
Yeah.
came with our mail.
Pertain to the 500 kilowatt array.
But people from the
There you
boat
go.
thinks that's what this is, that the town's going to get $50,000.
Taxes. Let's see.
Third paragraph.
Third paragraph. Second, we're convinced that the proposed project is good for Pownal. For at least 20 years, the solar array will strengthen the fire district's finances, generate tax revenues for the town and state, and put as much as $50,000 per year in utility savings into the pockets of residents and small businesses that choose to buy a share in the community solar opportunity that we will offer. So it depends, I mean, the way this, if this project goes forward, and it's a community solar project, and you decide to invest $10,000.
Yeah, but you just said it wasn't going to be that. You just said it was going to be the small thing, or did I misunderstand?
Yeah, this is a small one. If it was a big one, we wouldn't be doing this. It would be a totally different setup if we had the bigger.
No. He just said that the Green Mountain is going to, the Green Lantern is going to own it.
Right?
Yes.
They're going to pay, they're going to wipe out our electric bill. Where's the town going to get $50,000?
It's not the town, it's investors.
But that's not what we're doing. We're not doing an investor, are we?
Well, it's gonna go on the grand list for the town, so number one, they're gonna tax it as a business in town. So there's tax revenue dollars right there.
$50,000.
I'm just saying there's tax, I don't know what the value of the thing is. Nobody does it
I
this
just
point
think
in
the
time.
flyer's misleading to people.
What's the $55,000 in savings in cash that are being pumped into town?
That's people who buy panels. That's the money they'll make off of this.
A typical house that has an array on it has 20 kilowatts. I mean, array, or 10 to 20 kilowatts. But even that doesn't, it depends on what your usage is.
What is that got to do with this little project? I think that's all I'm asking. What is this that they said, the $50,000 in revenue for our town, got to do with this little array that we're only going to get?
Well, that's kind of like saying, how much money do you earn at your job?
No, but this makes people think that the town, the whole town, is benefiting from this project. The whole town.
You gotta read the whole sentence.
Yeah, it doesn't, Sharon, the way I read this, okay, the solar array will strengthen the fire district's finances, generate tax revenues for the town and state, comma, and put as much as $50,000 per year in utility savings. in the
As
funds.
much as 50, why didn't they put as much as $3,600? Then we're not gonna, I mean, how much actually do you think the town's gonna charge them taxes?
Well, it's not talking pretty much, that sentence is pretty much talking about the investors, right?
Right, the investors.
But
Everybody
you're not
else
doing
gonna
an
have a
investor,
chance.
are you?
No, but
If you want to be, you
individual
can be.
person, if this project goes forward, individual persons can sign a contract with Green Lantern, give Green Lantern a certain amount of money, and in return, get a discount or a Xing out of their,
Well, that's what it should,
Utility bill.
it should say something to that effect
That's
then.
right.
I have to agree with this lady here that it's misleading because it's not saying what you're explaining.
That's
So if
right.
I read that myself, I would think differently.
And everybody that reads this could say, oh, well, the town's gonna make $50,000.
That's
You
what I
know,
was
there's-
asking about the cost of the option one and the option two, which you really need to get from Ralph, because, you know, these panels aren't cheap, and we live in a poor town. How many people are really gonna buy a panel?
I asked Ralph about that. I said, we don't have many
Rich
people in
people.
our fire district who could afford this. And he said, well, it would really be open to anybody in Pownal, and it would be open to anybody in Bennington County or in the state of Vermont. He said, we have many investors lining up to invest in our solar projects, large and small. And he said, it's not going to be a problem to sell these panels.
But if they're outside investors, how does that benefit this community? I'm kind of confused on that too.
I guess he's assuming if people in Pownal.
Everybody?
No, individuals. Like Joe Smith buys a swimming pool, invests in a swimming pool, now he owns that asset, which increases the value of his house. This is like having panels on your roof, except they're not on your roof, because when they're on your roof, the roof can leak. And when you sell your house, the panels go along with it, good or bad. But here, it's a separate asset that you own, like a automobile, that you could sell at any time to, it would have to be like a price, just like you sell your house at some price. But it's in this field, this array, not on your house or on your property. This is a thing that Vermont legislature has passed to encourage solar, this, what's called net metering, and these community solar arrays are, here's a whole bunch of panels over here, and any one of you can buy a share of these panels
I
and get
understand all
benefits.
that, I understand all that, I'm just asking, I didn't understand why they're saying that the town could get up to $50,000 a year in benefits. That's all I'm asking.
Well, it doesn't say that. It says,
doesn't say
put
that.
as much as
Put as
$50,000 per
much
year
as $50,000.
into the pockets of residents and small businesses that choose to buy a share in the community solar opportunity that we will offer. I mean,
So if a ton of people from Pownal bought into it, it could probably generate as much as $50,000.
I think what she's trying to say is, it makes the people in the district, to people outside of the district like myself, saying, well, why don't you guys go with this, because the town's gonna bet $50,000.
That's-
And then you're the bad guy, because you're gonna
Thank you.
obviously say no. So just standing from someone who don't live here, I can see what she's saying, like, why don't you people wanna help the town out? What are you being one way for? And the other thing is the net metering. Charlie Palmer's putting in a big solar panel. He's got,
that was Sally Moe, wasn't she?
yes, up on, just up the road. So at some point, we talked in here about some of that money going into our school light bill. This net metering can be put to different places, even though
Right.
it's not on your property. But the big picture is, we're all trying to gather it. It's a new game and new kid on the block. Her point is making, the people down here are looking like the bad guys. If you vote, are you against this thing? Because that says that the town is gonna kind of make money on it through taxes. Do we make any money on the racetrack, solar panels?
Well, we do only in that it's taxed as an asset. So
Now,
you get-
these questions keep getting asked, and you really, I read the papers all the time what the legislature's doing, it gets fuzzy. Really, how do we, our tax bill keeps going up, and all of a sudden, all this stuff is coming in to save it, and it isn't. It's getting ridiculous. The store business, 6 cents on soda now, 33 cents on a pack of cigarettes. Are we any better off? We're all getting nervous here, and not blaming you guys. You guys know you well. But what she's saying is reality, that some portion of the town is gonna look like a bad guy for not helping the rest of the town on our tax bill. And that,
It's
and
the same as no matter what you're ever gonna vote on, Jim, you know, some people are gonna, there's gonna be a majority of some people that wanna vote that way, and a majority
Absolutely.
that doesn't want to. So I
Absolutely.
mean, if some people think that's way, they're entitled to the thoughts, we're certainly not painting
I
anybody
think
as
she's
bad
just going
guys.
off the flyer though.
Yeah,
It's the
the
flyer.
flyer-
Came
flyer's
in our
misleading.
voting paper. That flyer came with our voting paper. In,
Right.
yes. Or didn't you know that, Walt? That was mailed in our voting packet.
Mhm.
Right, I knew that things went up, but I wasn't exactly sure
Yes,
what.
it came
Yeah,
in
that was
our
in,
packet.
that was in our packet.
It shouldn't have been, but it was.
Why shouldn't it be?
Because I don't think it should have been. The lantern has been here and been here and been here. And they're gonna be here again on the voting night.
It was an.
They should have sent
it was
out
an
their own
informational
flyer.
package. It
They
was
should-
an informational package.
They should have sent it out themselves. Why did you, we
Then
did?
why wasn't the opposing view asked to also submit? You're spreading propaganda for Green Lantern. Then why was a
Propaganda?
complete, why was a complete package not sent out? And
Propaganda, I mean, please correct yourself.
They're,
This is
sorry, they're
information.
marketing materials is what it is.
They're in business, just like everybody
Right,
else.
and then they should have went and mailed it themselves separately from the warning that was to the customers. It should not have been in there. You're marketing it for Green Lantern.
We're responsible to hand out information, public documents and stuff like that, so once we got it, we gotta get it out to you, and that's why it went up.
It should have been on that. And it is
Well, there should have
misleading,
been.
the
That's the
$50,000 is misleading. I mean, you said people in our town, they don't understand the bylaws if they're read to them, or if they read them themselves. You said that, they don't understand that, and that's misleading information to people in the town. They already see that and go, holy cow, the town's gonna get $50,000. If I saw that and didn't realize really what it said about taxes and this and that it had to be based on somebody actually buying the panels or leasing the panels. People just saw town's getting $50,000. That's what they saw.
Well, I think it's like you wouldn't get a national, like if you sent out for an absentee ballot for the national election, and if it came with Mitt Romney information in it saying, this is what I'm gonna do for the country, whatever, with your absentee ballot, people would probably be,
This wasn't
Like-
what it was. It wasn't an
Well,
absentee
it
ballot. It was
I'm
a
not saying it was the warning,
explanation of why we're having this.
but it's a warning. It was a vote warning, right? It was a warning
it
for
was
vote, which
a
has to be
warning.
done
No,
impartially.
No, there wasn't a warning. Morty spoke.
The warning was in that packet, wasn't it?
No.
The warning was in the packet.
The
The
warning was in the
letter
packet.
that the board wrote
But it's not in there.
describing the project was in the packet. This map was in the packet.
Mhm.
This
the
other
packet?
map
Mhm.
was in the packet, and
There's
this
only one map.
thing was in the packet. And the purpose of this thing was, what the heck are they talking about? It was to try to.
Did
describe-
Green Lantern kick any cash for postage or envelopes? I think they should have. Being an
Yeah.
outsider hearing this, it shouldn't have been paid by, I guess, the ratepayers, paid for that marketing or propaganda, which means both the same.
It's not propaganda, please don't.
I-
Words
it's-
matter here.
No, no, it
Marketing
doesn't.
materials.
It's marketing material propaganda. You can drop it from a plane over a bunch of foreigners, or you can put it in the mail, but I actually think they should have kicked in money.
Well,
Because you're sending out marketing material for somebody else that you're trying to shove down the citizens here. So they should have kicked in money, 5 cents, whatever.
I object to this shove down the citizen wording. Shove down the citizens.
But that's what you did.
I want to tell you something, and I want you to hear this. Alex, Ray, Doug, Walt, Brian, we get nothing out of this. We're not doing this to shove down anybody. We're trying to keep the water rates where they are.
Well, then pay. You don't pay, you don't pay, you don't pay, and you don't pay. Pay your water bill.
Excuse me, sir, are you here to record this? Are you here to, you know?
I'm a citizen.
He's not from,
He's not from that team.
he's not from.
Just a citizen?
Yeah, I live here.
Okay.
He's-
Are you on the fire district?
Huh?
Are you on the water?
I live in this town, yes.
You're not on the water system?
No.
On the water system, I didn't get my packet because it went to my landlord in,
He's supposed to give it to you.
Sanford, Sanford Place in Altamont. So like I didn't, this is the first time I've seen this map, and there must be other people like me who are renters.
Yes, there are.
Haven't got either the marketing material, propaganda, or the informational sheets. So, I mean,
about that is there will be a warning posted, there will be a date, and all of this discussion will take place, and then the vote will happen, now on August 17th.
I didn't even know the date of the vote.
It
No,
was,
that's-
In the banner.
it was published in the banner in one of those little things that not many people read, you know.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to the banner, I can't vote.
Well, it was posted at Stewart's, Winchester Store, Post Office, library, and town office. There's only so much we can do. We wrote letters.
I don't think she heard it.
I'm sorry. It was posted in 6 places. A letter was mailed to the address of your house, of the landowner, because that's all we have, are these addresses of
Well,
land.
tell me the other places too, Ray.
And
6
why
places.
does it not go by the voter list? The voter roll? Like, you guys must have discussed that.
Yes, we
before I
did.
got here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in the bylaws, you gotta be, reside within the district.
And be a registered voter. So when this meeting occurs, it will, you would have to come, you would have to state your name, tell your address, and then your name would be looked up on the voters list of voters of Pownal, and your address would be looked up on the list of landowners. And you would say, I'm Dorothea Ego, and I live in Joe Smith's house. And then it would be marked that that house has voted.
There was no way to correlate the list of voters with the property owners and determine which of those belong in the water district?
It's possible, but it doesn't need to be done, because it's who shows up. Whoever shows up, we would do that then. There's no
can of
point in
worms.
making a voters list thing.
It's a can of worms now, though. You have a new law, you can have same-day registration. And I don't think that without Karen Barrington there, I don't think you could do that, could you? If somebody wanted to register on that day of the
Is this
vote?
another new law?
Yes, it is, another new law, same-day
How
registration.
new?
The governor signed it probably 3 weeks ago.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah, same-day registration. So I don't know if anybody at the table, they would be officially an elected official to process this same-day registration.
It's funny, I said to Karen when I left the town office at 4 o'clock, I said, well, Karen, you've been delisted as a member of the fire district and a voter, and she said, oh, yay. But
Did you fix that now?
Yeah.
I missed it.
We got a new map.
Yeah.
Anybody can sign up somebody to register,
Right.
if they give them the Freeman's Oath right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but who's on the receiving end to make this an official process?
Oh, like just put it in the
Like Karen
computer.
Barrington, the town clerk.
Mm.
Karen would have to put you on the list.
Right, well, it's Karen's list you're taking to check off. You've got 2 people checking off names, right?
Yes.
So,
Dorothea, we're trying our best, but our resources are limited and our, you know, our plans, or we revise them
I
to
just
try
wish
to
that you
follow
all
the
were
law.
getting more from the deal than you are. I just feel like this company is just, you know, running over us, that they're not giving us anywhere near the deal that we deserve.
They're giving us a better deal than,
I
in my research on this, I talked to the town of Chester, who has a 500 kilowatt array on their 16-acre wellhead site, and they're getting $5,000 a year for a 500 kilowatt array. And I said, well, we've negotiated $10,000 a year, and he said, well, I guess we should have been a harder negotiator. And I talked to the town manager of the town of Waterbury, and they're getting $6,000 a year for a 500 kilowatt array on their 20-acre water site. And he said, oh, I should have negotiated a better deal, you know, I mean, the point is that it's third-party financed. It's, the water board puts no money into siting and building and buying and hooking up these solar panels. So you get the going rate, and this is a good rate for this size of an array, $3,655 a year is a good rate. And they don't, solar projects don't make millions.
Well, when the Green Lantern representative was here, when it was still, I guess, a 375 kilowatt negotiation, he talked about the profit that they were gonna make after expenses. He said it was gonna be $50,000 after expenses, so now if it's half of that, then they're still making 30,000 in profit. And then they're paying us in electricity, they're not even paying us cash.
Well, I personally don't
It
remember
works
any of
out the
those.
same. I mean, if you don't have to spend it out.
6% they were gonna make on it.
Yeah, 6%, I don't remember any of those
Well,
figures.
it's,
The figure he threw out was 6%, based on what the investment, the standard investment, what they're looking to make is 6%. That's been the average they've been making, that's what they target, and that's what they use when they're figuring what the whole thing's gonna turn over, 6%.
Right, and he said that 6% for the 375 kilowatt array was gonna be $50,000 after expenses.
Right, well.
you've got things to do
I
yet.
don't
You
fault
got
any business.
Public Service Board, you're gonna have to go, Charlie Palmer's gonna find out if it was Indians up there, was there a deer herd area, or he jumped through a lot of hoops yet.
He's got to jump for more
Yes,
than we do.
all the
Right.
permitting and
But
the
it's still going on
engineering
after the
and
vote.
the
Yes.
Oh, yeah, this
lawyers.
is just a proceed.
Yeah, this is a procedure that's gonna go
We-
on
we
for a
just-
while.
Right, right.
We can go on, we may get turned down, who knows?
Yeah, they have to like dig it up and look for arrowheads.
But somebody like Eddie Haley is not on the water, but he can vote.
Yes, he can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
he can
just
vote.
trying to get,
Oh, yeah.
bring her up to speed. It's a little tricky here, it's not like black and white, there's a lot of gray in here.
Well, obviously it's tricky. I'm just reading my own bylaws here and learning new things and going to,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a process.
But
They're not the same
I
about
don't
that.
know, they talked about after
That I got.
expenses, that was the kind of money that they would be generating after all of their expenses.
Well, so the way business works is that the business owners pay themselves a salary. And they have a lot of expenses which they deduct from their overall income. And if you own a business, you pay yourself a salary and you pay all your workers a salary and you have a ton of expenses, and anything left over after that is called profit.
Rob Wilmington doesn't come cheap.
Sorry?
I said Rob Wilmington is representing Trans-Canada in Bellows Falls in a
He's our-
$41 million deal. What I'm trying to say, he doesn't come cheap.
No, he,
That's their attorney.
He's our attorney too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Right, right,
yeah.
right.
So, you know,
Well, that's the whole thing too, like you're
a
saying.
lot of people in here aren't making a nickel, but there's people being on the meter right now.
Right, right, but the whole reason Rob's on it for us is to make sure we aren't gonna get screwed by Green Lantern, and to make sure all our back's covered every way we turn and stuff like that.
He's the best.
All, right, but I'm, you know, I just wanna put it out to the crowd that, you know, we don't have Joe Blow from the Alamo as a lawyer because he's making $125 an hour. We have a very accomplished lawyer that deals with this stuff all the time and revised a ton of language that all these other towns went with in the contract. He revised a ton of language in there that was more suitable for our protection and the protection of the people here and stuff. So, I mean, you know, we're investing in this project to make sure it's not something stupid and it's not a bust and nobody gets screwed.
I
That's
thought
the
Green
whole
Lantern
thing.
was paying for rubber movement, that's what you said.
eventually, once the project goes forward, if it goes forward, they will pay. He has generated over $3,000 in bills so far, but they haven't been paid.
So if this gets voted down, then you guys are gonna have to foot the $3,000 bill to Rob
No.
Wilmington? Oh, okay.
There's an email where it says, there's an email from the CEO of Green Lantern named Luke Schellenberger that says, we will pay your legal fees whether it goes through or not. Pretty clear. Now, Dorothea, I'll try to answer more details. 50,000 jumps out at you, but see, this whole thing is really complicated. You can tell already, you know, and the board and myself and other members have been working on this since last April for 15 months. And we have come to this far, we've come to here. But, and what Jimmy brings up about the Public Service Board and about changing laws, all true. It's not a real clear and easy path through modern life.